William Wragg. Thank you. I'm pleased to be able to speak today in support of this petition. And I congratulate the Honourable Lady, the Member for Blaydon, for bringing this important debate before the House. And of course, Sir David, it's a pleasure to serve under your chairmanship. I believe in investing money wisely in things with a proven record of return, and there can be no greater stock worth investing in than our children's education. It is indeed true that there has never been more public money spent on education, and the government should be commended for that. Indeed, the diversion of an extra £1.2 billion is a good start. But bluntly, Sir David, I want more cash for schools in my constituency. I was pleased to see over 1,000 residents from Hazel Grove having signed the petition, making us 14th in the ranking. This is a reflection of not only how strongly local residents feel about the proper funding of their children's schools, but how they are becoming ever more aware of the unfair imbalances in funding which have left local authorities like Stockport underfunded for decades. Now, since being elected for the Hazel Grove constituency, I've sought to build strong professional relationships with the schools and head teachers there, and I'm grateful for their insights into the issue of school funding. And I'm particularly grateful to those who've met with me, and if I rattle through them quickly, because I know they all deserve a name check. They include Romley Primary School, Norbury Hall Primary School, Brookside Primary, Torkington Primary School, St Stephen's RC, Fairway Primary, Ludworth, Mellor Primary School, Werneth High School, Harrytown Catholic High School and Marple High School. I defy other members to mention as many as that. Now, they've all provided me with important facts and financial analyses, just as my honourable friend, the member from East Worthing and Shoreham said, of the real impact of this lack of funding. Now, I, of course, supported the national funding formula, and I and many other colleagues are in the F40 group who represent those 40 lowest funded local education authorities in the country. And we have indeed had many positive meetings with ministers. However, as time has gone on, with the implementation of the national funding formula, it's become increasingly clear that while the government is still technically honouring its commitment, some schools are set for an increase that are so slight it's essentially negligible. Of the 25 schools in my constituency, 4 will see an increase of under 1% and 10 will see an increase of under 3%, while only 4 have a sizable increase of 5% under the new formula. Now, we're not asking for the world, but merely comparable resources with similar schools in different parts of the country. It's inherently unfair to expect schools with similar characteristics to achieve the same results on widely, or indeed wildly, differing budgets. It is a timely coincidence that the Education Select Committee, of which I am a member, and I'm pleased to see many august members of that said committee here this afternoon as well, that we're conducting an inquiry into both school and college funding. From the evidence we've received from across the sector, it points towards the actual true figure that needs to be brought about to address these historical imbalances, as the Honourable Gentleman for Gateshead indicated earlier. It's not the DfE's current £1.2 billion, but at least £2.1 billion. I know that education ministers will argue strongly for their budget in the forthcoming spending review, but I wonder if my right honourable friend the Minister today can give me an indication of whether that figure is on the cards. The evidence suggests that what is really needed to get school funding to where it needs to be, so that schools can stop endlessly worrying about making ends meet and can focus on the business of providing a great education. Now, there's one specific question I have for the Minister this afternoon. Because following our right honourable friend, the Education Secretary, writing to us in September, and I quote, "There will be a consultation," this is on the pension contribution, "there will be a consultation, and it is the Government's firm intention to fully fund schools for the additional pressure that the pension contributions place on their budgets, ensuring that the core school's budget continues to be protected." So I ask if my right honourable friend can confirm that afternoon. I congratulate all members taking part in the debate. I thank the thousands of my constituents who signed the petition, and I just hope that in the spending review we can give good news to our local schools and give them the cash they need.